What's going on, everybody? It is Joe. Welcome to the channel today. I'm excited to go over some content with you guys about XRP and Bitcoin and why a certain financial expert thinks XRP is being slept on. So I encourage you guys to stay throughout the video. I'm going to give my insight. I'm going to pause it and give my insights throughout. And then we're also going to talk about why I am still very bullish about XRP and about Bitcoin in this cycle and why I think this is still a great time to be buying, why I'm buying. That is not financial advice, but I do encourage you to do your own research. Listen to these videos, listen to other videos, do your own research on them, because right now is such a good time with the RSI levels so low. Historically, we've seen big prices come from that shortly after, and I do feel like this cycle is just delayed because of everything that's happened from November through now, basically, with the new administration and why it got pushed back. So I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video. But with that being said, let's hop right into this. We jumped down to extreme fear again. We went up to the orange category for a little bit. We are back down to 17 in the extreme fear. Bitcoin's down 5%. XRP's down 6.5%. We're at $2.05, and we dropped below 80,000 again. So we're waiting for those to go back up. I am holding out hope. I think that time is coming. And like I said, I think this bull cycle just got delayed because of this pro-crypto administration coming in. Everyone's kind of wondering what's going to happen. It's not the normal cycle that we're used to. And so I think we're going to enter that hopefully soon, but we'll talk about that later on. So with that being said, I don't know if you guys remember, but Patrick Bet David posted this poll on X, and it got 178,000 votes. He's not your typical Bitcoin maxi. He's not all in on XRP. He was just curious to know what his followers thought about these different coins. And he says, which crypto has the best long-term technology? Ripple XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other? Other got 12%. Ethereum got 9%. Bitcoin got 35%. And then Ripple XRP got 44% in that poll with 178,000 votes. That's a massive number, and that many people think Ripple XRP has the best long-term technology. Is this poll foolproof? Probably not. There's a lot of the XRP army on X, but still, when you're dealing with that big of a number, that says something. Like, there are a ton of people that believe in it, and the XRP army is real. So he took this poll. I think he got really curious about, like, whoa, what is this Ripple company? What is XRP? Like, I need to start looking into this. Like, he'll say in the video he thought Bitcoin was going to get 70% of the vote. And so I think he did this poll and was like, okay, now I really need to take a look at this technology. I need to take a look at Ripple. And I really want to compare the two and see what can happen. So he just released a video today, and I want to share that with you guys. And then I'll be stopping it throughout and giving my insights. But yeah, encourage you guys to take a listen here.
February 16th, I ran a poll, and a poll says, which crypto has the best long-term technology? I didn't know what it was going to come up. I'm not a crypto guy. My audience is not a crypto community. It's very neutral. I put Ripple, Bitcoin, Ethereum, other, explain why. At the lowest was Ethereum, 9%. Other was 12%. Bitcoin, whom I thought was going to be 70%, was 35%, and Ripple came up at 44%. This is 179,000 people voting. So it's not 200 or 800 or 10,000. It's nearly 200,000 people voting. Then Gary Cardone retweets it and says, when people run a poll like this and they don't know what they're talking about, this is why people get confused. No problem. Then I challenge him. Why don't you run the same exact poll I run, and let's see what it does on your audience. I don't know. I'm not a Ripple guy. I'm not a Bitcoin guy. I'm not an Ethereum guy. I'm a business guy. He runs it. The results when he runs it is the following. He said, you are 50 years old, worth $10 million, and going into suspended hibernation for 8 years, escaping complete world chaos. You are required to make 100% investment in one of the following and have 1 hour to make a decision. XRP, Solano, US dollar, Bitcoin. XRP 67%. Bitcoin 30%, 23,000 people voted. I think this was taken.
Yeah, so that poll got deleted by Gary Cardone once he saw how it was going. XRP Army won his poll too. That was kind of funny. I don't know if you guys remember that, but he didn't like Patrick's vote, and so he wanted to do his own. He thought that vote was misleading, and so he reframed it in a way that he wanted to frame it. and XRP still won, and it was leading, and after only a few hours he took the pull down because he could see what was happening.
And down afterwards. Why? I don't know. When you look at what Bitcoin is versus XRP, you'll see one is centralized, one is decentralized. Bitcoin being decentralized, the other one being centralized. Centralized may be faster, may be public, like the Federal Reserve, people know about it. Decentralized, there is little regulation on it. There is not much control over it. So there's the two benefits for both. If somebody is a person that believes in diversification, there's an element for both that's needed. Now, for actual usage of the technology, when you pull it up and you compare the two against each other, here's what you'd come up. When it comes down to transaction speed, you notice Bitcoin 10 minutes, XRP 3 to 5 seconds. Transaction cost, high during congestion, XRP very low. Decentralization, we talked about that. Use case, store of value, person to person, XRP cross-border systems, supply 21 million, XRP 100 billion. Energy use is high, XRP low. Adoption, broad, mainstream, XRP niche, institutional. So if you look at this, of course, like, well, then XRP is better. That's what I'm going to be doing. You pull up another chart. This other chart talks about transactions per second. The average block time, Bitcoin, 10 minutes. Litecoin, 2.5 minutes. Ethereum, 15 seconds. Ethereum 2.0, 12 seconds. Ripple, 3 to 5 seconds. Solana, 0.4 seconds. And you can go down and look at all these other guys. So the argument that's being made about what this one, what about that one, what about this one, then you look at numbers of the price of Bitcoin versus price of Ripple. When you look at the price of Bitcoin, of where it is today and where Ripple is at, this is what you'll notice. Today, Ripple is give or take $244. Bitcoin today, give or take $86,000.
Prices have dropped a little bit since then. We're now at like $79,000 and $2.05 for Ripple, but same thing.
Okay, if you go back 4 years ago, Ripple's high was $1.65. Bitcoin 4 years ago was $64,000. If you go to 2017 to 2018, Ripple high was $384. Bitcoin was $17,800. To let's just say $86 to $100,000, it's 6x, let's say 5x, while Ripple has actually gone down. Now, of course, there's a pending lawsuit. Is that going to get cleared? You know, security, is it a security? Is it not? President Trump, he's mentioned an XRP, and what's kind of weird in his whole Truth Social post, you know what's the first cryptocurrency he puts in there? It's not Bitcoin. It's not Ethereum. It's not Cardano. The first one he puts in there is XRP Ripple. Why? You saw the CEO of Ripple, Brad, coming out there kind of talking, and people are saying, hey, we ought to look at this. What if the case gets dropped? What if that doesn't happen? Gary Gensler's no longer there. Gary Gensler was not a big fan of Ripple. There's all these videos that we've seen behind closed doors on what's going on. Here's all I'm saying. Just so you know you're watching this, let me confuse you a little bit. I own way more Bitcoin than I do Ripple. I own very little Ripple. I don't want this thing to be an endorsement of Ripple. For whatever I own of Bitcoin, I own a tenth of it in Ripple.
So that's important to know too. Like, he's not making this video to just promote Ripple and promote XRP. Like, he owns 10% or 10 times the amount of Bitcoin than XRP. And then he just does such a good job of explaining the differences, and like you could tell how curious he was learning about XRP and looking at all those different factors, that the differences between XRP and Bitcoin, and just comparing the two before making this video and going in depth about it. But that being said, he still owns more Bitcoin than XRP, but he just wanted to educate some people on XRP and educate himself, frankly, on XRP and what it's capable of.
Just to make things, Ethereum, I own 3 times Ethereum than I do of Ripple. I'm just looking at it on what direction it's going to go.
This is like a digital Fort Knox for digital gold. So.
And this is something you believe in fully?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
And the whole community believes in it.
Very good. And I made the promise, right?
Absolutely.
What does that really mean? When you look at Ripple in the first place, technology company founded in 2012, focused on revolutionizing global payments through blockchain-based solutions. It develops financial infrastructure that enables fast, low-cost, and efficient cross-border transactions. The owner is SPI Holdings and Andreessen Horowitz, well-known company. We know Andreessen Horowitz. They own a lot of different things. Remember earlier I told you all these big financial institutions have invested into Bitcoin. We talked about Morgan Stanley, all these other guys. When it comes down to Ripple, do you know 300 financial institutions already use Ripple net as of 2024?
300 financial institutions already use RippleNet. Not a lot of people know that yet. They don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but Ripple is making moves behind the scenes. Brad Garlinghouse and company are partnering with so many different people, and people are just sleeping on that fact. all these partnerships that Ripple is making do mean something, and they are showing us signs time and time again, and we just need to start paying attention to those signs. It's right there in front of us.
One of them being Bank of America. Bank of America uses them. American Express uses the technology that RippleNet has. So it's not like others aren't starting to gradually, behind closed doors, say, maybe we need this technology, because when it comes down to CBDC, Ripple partners with government to build blockchain infrastructure for CBDC. Everybody's trying to find out, hey man, we got to build something here. Whose technology do we use? The government decides to team up with Ripple. Ripple's 2024 partnership with central banks and its stablecoin launch signal this direction. So they're already making that progress. What is the next big event that happens? Is the settlement, is the issues they're having with SEC. If those things get dropped and it's done, you may see a big growth and a spike with Ripple. And by the way, if you're a crypto,
You very much well could, and I do think the SEC case is going to end soon. I feel like there are signs about that all over the place. With Donald Trump mentioning XRP in that post, that's just a sign that something is going to happen, in my opinion. He wouldn't be talking about XRP potentially being in a strategic reserve. We now know it's not, but he wouldn't be talking like that if he didn't think XRP in that case was going to be over. Like, that means he's talking with Brad Garlinghouse, he's talking with Ripple, he's talking with these people about XRP, and when those conversations are taking place, I do feel like something is coming, something is there, and it's not just happening. So I do think the case is going to end sooner rather than later. I think they're trying to figure out the fine details of that and what that'll look like. We have already seen a ton of the other SEC cases come to an end and get dropped, but I think this Ripple XRP one is obviously the biggest one, and there's just so many details to figure out on what that's going to look like. So I do think that's coming soon, and when that does, Ripple XRP will have that clarity that it needs to explode, in my opinion. And I feel like it's going to be good for crypto as a whole industry once that case is over, because it's just going to provide that much more clarity to institutions that these things are not securities and that there is a green light going forward.
person yourself, you're probably furious saying, why are you not mentioning Solana? Do you not realize their blazing speed and the fees and what they got and the market cap, $80 billion? Solana is better than XRP. Here's what I've learned, guys. There is like 50 religions in cryptocurrency, and everybody talks about their coin is the best one. But you know what happened? If we take everybody that tell us what their coin is the best one, and then we ask them to actually open the wallet to see what coin they have, the coin that they own the most of, that's the best coin in the world. My interest is, I hear you, you sound convincing. I hear you, you sound convincing. I hear you sound convincing. For a person that is not in the business of sitting there spending 200 hours to look at everything here, diversification is for someone that says, let me see which one's gonna go. I'm gonna try a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit there. For someone that doesn't want to specialize in this, it is something you have to pay.
That's something I really believe in too. Like, unless you're doing a ton of research, unless you're doing all your own research on these different coins, diversification can be like a great way to go about it. If you don't know what's going to happen with what, and you just hear all these different people talking and you're just watching videos, diversification, so you don't miss out on some of those opportunities that happen, is a good way to like have your portfolio, like put a little bit here, put a little bit there, and just take some chances on some different things. And that way, if one of them does go way up, you get to join in on those gains. If one of them goes way down, well, you're still diversified and you have money in those other coins. And so it's not putting all your eggs in one basket. And if you do put all your eggs in one basket, hopefully it's in a coin that you've done a ton of research yourself on and that you feel very confident in the long-term picture. And that way you can kind of protect yourself from some of that. And if it does go way down, you did your own research, you trusted it, you trusted that long-term plan, and and you chose not to diversify, and that's would then be on you. But what you was just saying about diversifying is a super important concept to understand in crypto. Like, this isn't financial advice. Do your own research. I encourage that. But diversifying a portfolio can really help you join in on some of the fun gains, and it can really protect you if one of your coins drops down quite a bit, unless you're doing a bunch of research like he was saying.
Attention to, here's why. Let's just say XRP decides to, all of a sudden they replace SWIFT. Let's say that happens. If XRP replaces SWIFT and FedNow, you know what happens? Let me give you some numbers here. XRP's ledger processes transactions in 3 to 5 seconds at nearly no cost, making it significantly faster and cheaper than Swift. So, Swift processes $5 trillion daily, or 1.25 quadrillion annually. If you didn't know what that was, quadrillion annually, Swift. If XRP captures 5 to 10% of volume, let's just say 10% of volume, $125 trillion annually. The demand for XRP, by the way, it could be any of these other technologies we're talking about. Analysts estimate that a $10 trillion market cap could push XRP's price to $100 per token with full replacement potentially driving it up to $1,000. Now, who those analysts are, I'm willing to bet those analysts own Ripple. And that's why they're
very high chance that that's true, that those analysts are promoting Ripple, trying to get that price to go up and get people to buy XRP. But there is something to that, and he'll kind of explain that too, that if those things were to happen, there's no telling if that would happen or not. Like, that's a big if for Ripple to replace Swift and get 10% of it. But like, if it does end up doing that, if it does get 10% of the market of Swift, like, some of those numbers aren't that out of the question. Like, $100 XRP is very realistic. $1,000 might be a stretch. Is it possible? Potentially. But just be wary of where you're hearing that information, because some of those analysts, like he said, probably own quite a bit of XRP and it's very wishful thinking. But that said, it is possible if those things happen. It's just how likely are those things to happen or not. That's the main question.
They're writing this. Hey, analysts, just because I say analyst says, it doesn't mean they're 100% right. But yeah, it is a way of looking at what could happen with this. If this were to happen, it's a big deal. Now, the roadblock that they have are a couple things. One is the SEC lawsuit that has slowed adoption, but a resolution could boost institutional confidence. Regulatory approval, especially in the US, is critical for widespread adoption. Let me unpack the legal trouble. Let's just go back 4 or 5 years so you kind of know what's going on.
Okay, so that's enough for that video, but like he was just saying, that regulatory clarity is crucial for widespread adoption with XRP. So when that SEC case ends, that's when I think we can really see Ripple XRP explode. And he just did a great job of kind of comparing it to Bitcoin and just breaking down XRP. He's not an XRP maxi like a lot of these videos are. He just wants to know more about XRP. He wants to learn what it is, what it can do, because of that poll he ran. And so after doing his research, he made this video kind of comparing the two, and it's like, hey, this is actually possible. It could get to these numbers, and what it's going to take is this SEC case to end, that widespread adoption could happen, and I do think Ripple and XRP could eventually get there. So drop your comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, I'll give more. Hit that like button, comment below, I'll interact with you guys. But yeah, I just want to encourage you guys to do your own research before investing. That's super important. And also just be ready to diversify. Diversification in the portfolio is super important, and that way you can join in on these gains with coins that go way up in case something like XRP, like he said, it could go up to $100 overnight. You just never know. But when you diversify, you can you can protect yourself from losses, and you can also join in on gains. And I do think more than one coin is going to find success. There's a lot of back and forth, especially between Bitcoin and Ripple and XRP. But more than one, like, the coins are so different, the utility is different, that we can see more than one coin finding success. So when you hear all these different people like fighting and putting other coins down, I would honestly ignore that. Like, you want crypto as an industry to succeed. You don't want this back and forth putting these coins down, because it's bringing a bad name to crypto. And then with that, this cycle, I said I would talk about this as well, and why this cycle is different in my mind. And that's because this whole new administration that came in, well, they won the election in November, came in January. Normally that November to January, February, March, like, that's the big bull run cycle. 4 years ago, 8 years ago, that's kind of the time period that we experienced that bull run that everyone was waiting for this 4 years. But I think this time around, with the pro-crypto administration, it just kind of pushed everything back for a while. Like, everyone wanted to see what was going to happen. Everyone's waiting for this clarity to happen. There's so much institutional money involved now. You have ETFs getting involved now. You have companies getting involved. You have countries getting involved. You have the US getting involved. Governments getting involved. So just so many more players involved now, and everyone's kind of waiting for this clarity, what's going to happen, where people are going to go, who's going to make the first move, and it's just really pushing things back, I think, because there are just so many other factors involved. And I feel like there are so many signs that this was going to be the case. We got some false hope a couple of times with some big runs. But then it came right back down because we haven't really gotten that clarity yet that a lot of people are waiting for. And I feel like once we get that clarity, then we're going to hop into that bull run that everyone's been expecting. So a lot of people are getting shaken out right now. A lot of people in crypto for the first time are talking like, hey, this isn't really that fun. Like, we keep going up and then back down. I'm not having too much fun. I would rather take my money out of crypto. I don't want to be in crypto. And even for someone that's been in crypto for over 8 years and have gone through bear markets and bull markets, this is one of the crazier times in crypto that I can remember with all these different swings. And so I can't imagine being someone who's new to crypto and going through this. But as someone who's been in it for a while, who's been through these bear markets before and knows and has dollar cost average through it before, has used these opportunities with low RSI levels to invest more because I'm used to prices going up after. Like, it's a little more comforting for me than for someone who hasn't gone through this in the past. And I totally get why it can be scary, why you wouldn't want your money involved in this with all these swings. But at the same time, it is also such a good buying opportunity if this bull cycle is actually coming. I think it is. Not financial advice again, but all the signs, all the indicators are there. Donald Trump's talking about crypto. Governments are talking about crypto. States are talking about crypto. Like, it's only a matter of time before it gets put to use, before the utility shows, before we get this regulatory clarity, especially with the SEC and XRP and Ripple. Like, the time is coming, and I am just very, very excited. So when this is going to happen, that's the question. I'm holding out hope it's going to be sometime before summer, but that could be next week, it could be a month, it could be 2 months. I have no idea. It might not even be until fall. Who really knows? But I do feel like that time is coming. Trump is talking about crypto. He is very positive about crypto, and I feel like this institutional clarity is going to come. But yeah, I just today saw this video. He was talking about Bitcoin, he was talking about XRP, kind of comparing the two a little bit, and then just getting in depth about XRP because you can tell he was very intrigued and he provided a good voice for XRP in my mind, kind of explaining it and why it got him interested. And so I just wanted to bring you guys that content. Again, if you wanted to give me your thoughts below, I'd love to interact with you guys. And until then, I will talk to you guys next time.